This clip is sponsored by American Mobile. If you're a nurse interested in traveling, visit americanmobile.com to get started. You know, what type of person or nurse would maybe be a good candidate to be a summer camp nurse?
Definitely. I always look for nurses that have outgoing personalities, that they have stamina. I think stamina is really important because this is not
You're
like
on, you're on.
Yeah, you're on. You're on all the time. It can be 1 a.m. A kid knocks on our door and says, "Oh, I have a stomach ache." You spend 2 hours with them, trying to help them. A lot of times, the nurses, the nurse, they just need to give a little TLC. Oh, honey, you're going to be fine, because our kids can get really excited, or they can get really just overwhelmed about something so small. You have a headache. That's fine. You have a headache. You're going to be fine, sweetie. It's not a big deal. Well, you're sure it's not a migraine that's going to turn into something because it's a tumor? No. You're fine.
They've been walking in flip-flops all day and they think that they have early onset arthritis. And I'm like, I think that we probably just have, bad shoes.
And then you have the opposite. You have those kids that underplay everything. Remember the kid that we were at that water park in somewhere in Europe, and he jumped off of a step and he hurt his foot, and he was limping around the whole day, but he didn't want to miss the rest of the water park. And then at the end of the day, when we got on the bus, he was like, "Oh, nurse, I'm limping, my foot hurts." And she was like, "Oh, let me look at it." And she was like, "Oh, this is really swollen. What did you do?"
Right.
And then come to find out, he had surgery and had pins put in his ankle or something, and one of the pins popped out and came loose or something gross. His mom sent us the x-rays, and so then on the way to the hotel, we had to get the bus to drop the nurse and the kid off at the hospital. And he had to be on crutches for the rest of the tour because they couldn't fix the surgery until he got back home. But they just gave him some fancy, strong medication so he could deal with it until then. But, so we have kids that overplay it, and then we have kids that underplay it. So sometimes you just need to give a little TLC. You're going to be fine. You don't have a tumor. You don't have early onset arthritis. And then some kids are like, "Well, tell me what happened. Are you okay?" It's because, they don't want to, fear of missing out. They don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
He wanted to wait till the water park was over to
deal with it.
To deal with it. And he just,
There was another kid that was wearing basketball shorts all day it was one of the days where we were walking everywhere, and he had a ball rash, and he was like, "I think that this is gangrene." And I was like, "I don't think so. I'll look at it if you want me to look at it."
So much chafing. What is it? It's the powder that we always have to run to CVS and get
Gold
more.
Bond.
We always run out of Gold Bond.
Baby powder, I think is what, I don't know. Gold Bond is for your feet. I don't know what we use.
They always have to run. The nurses are like, "Oh, I need to run to a CVS or a pharmacy and get more powder." Because all the boys are always chafing.
There was one time when one kid had a sore throat, and the next day 3 kids had a sore throat, and then the next day 3 kids and a counselor had a sore throat, and I was like, "Oh God." And we were in Budapest, and I didn't have any cough medicine or anything, so I had to run to an apothecary to figure out what they have for sore throats. And I think it was some herb. It wasn't anything that we were used to, but the pharmacist
I remember
was like,
that. I remember that because you gave me some cough drops that I really liked. I was like, "Oh, I love these," and you're like, "You would. This is hippy dippy stuff." I was like, "Oh, no wonder I like it."
This is elderberry maybe, or lingonberry, I think. I don't know what it was, but yeah, they were like, "Oh yeah." I mean, it's probably better for you, right? There's so many different medications that are banned here that aren't in the Europe, so I'm sure. I mean, I think it worked. It was at the end of the trip. I was like, we just got to get it the next couple days. You just got to make it through.
But yeah, that's definitely what I look for in a good nurse is stamina, organization. But nurses are typically organized. That's part of your job. Organization, stamina, and then just a flexibility.
That's what I was gonna say.
You never know what you're gonna be doing that day.
Yes.
Or what you're gonna be dealing with. But I mean, that's a part of every nurse job. But you really don't know where you're gonna be, what you're gonna be doing.
Right.
You know, because you could end up you could end up at the hospital with a kid. You could just be laying at the water park waiting to give medication. You could be waiting with the backpacks while everybody goes somewhere. Like, flexibility is key. Especially on travel, I don't want nurses who think, oh, this is a fun vacation, I can just go shopping, I did my medicine, I'm going to go shopping. No, you have to stay with the group. We need to know where you are at all times in case of emergency. You can't just, be off in the Bahamas at the gift shop and didn't tell anybody, and we're on the bus waiting to leave, and we're like, where's the nurse? We're gonna have to leave without her. So definitely need somebody that wants to stay with the group and can deal with the chaos, because I mean, it is it's organized chaos. That's what it is,
for sure. And we know all about that as nurses.